If you know me well, you know that years ago I preached exactly 180 different than what I'm about to say. I believe now, and I think through experience I've just decided that this is a better way to do it. I used to just get on stage, present what I was saying with very, very little amounts of actual practice. So much so now that I would even go as far as to saying that I am super detailed in understanding the scenario that I'm getting into. For example, this weekend I'm going to be presenting at an event called Start Peninsula. I'll be the keynote on Sunday, and I know everything that I need to know about the facility. I have some clients who are not as, how do I put this in a nice kind of way, not as rambunctious or as practiced as I am, so that when they get on stage and something that they weren't expecting happens, they freak out and it actually screws with them, right? So I can roll with the punches. I learned that when I worked in TV, and so things like that don't bother me. But I have recognized that the more that I am rehearsed, the more that I know what I'm getting into beforehand, the more that I have practiced or understood what I'm about to say, the better I'm actually going to do. And so years ago, I would say just get on stage and go. Now I say, understand what you're going to do. And I think that just comes with maturity. That comes with understanding that people are there to see you. And, you know, I'm not as cocky as I used to be, right? I'm still very confident, right? But I want to make sure that people who are paying to see me get all that they can get out of me. And so that's super, super important. So a couple of things, little tidbits to be thinking about. If you are about to do a presentation for someone, try to get as much information out of the organizer as possible. So understand the location, the logistics, what the lighting looks like, what the sound looks like, right? So this weekend, I know that I'm going to have a lapel, or I could have a stick mic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the lapel on, and if something goes wrong, that stick mic is going to be right next to me so that I can simply go turn off the one and turn on the other. Why do you do that? Because that way you have a backup plan. And so actually at an event earlier this year in January, that exact thing happened where my lapel mic, which is basically just the wireless mic that you put on your shirt, it basically stopped working. And I rolled with the punches, and I had stick mic, which is just like the wireless mic that I don't have one. That's just, you put in your hand. Kind of looks like this. This is a tripod. So you just be like, hi, how are you? Right? So I'm rolling with the punches. I want to know what the lights are going to look like. I want to know if there is a mirror monitor, which is basically the slides that are behind me that I never want to read, that I could, in front of me, be able to read that and see what I'm about to say or what's coming up next. I want to be rehearsed. I want to have a really good intro. I want to have a really solid beginning to get everyone in the crowd looking and consuming and pumped up on me. Then I want to make sure that I'm telling great stories, that I'm going slow enough that people can understand and articulate what I'm saying and consume it. I also want to be entertaining because obviously this is a performance. And performances are important. I learned to change that word from just like a pitch or presentation to performance from Gary Plague. I always mess up his name. See, practice makes perfect. And then I want to end with a bang, right? Whatever that thing that you want people to be pumped up about, make sure that you hit that home, right? So it's important. And I believe I did this talk yesterday, where I create so much content, by the way, I sometimes forget what yesterday's show was. But I believe yesterday's show was do the same presentation over and over again. So this is the first time that I'm going to be doing the anomaly talk, basically, right? That's a little misleading because I've been doing this talk forever. But in this form, this is tonight, Sunday night is the first time I'm going to do this talk. So I am prepared that by next week, when I do it again, and then I'm doing it 2 times next week, that it will tweak in some kind of way, right? And I just need to be observant of that, understand where people get lost, right? And so I will be looking for that. I'm going to record it. I'm going to hopefully, and I have to test this tonight and on Sunday, hopefully I will be able to go live on Instagram through my phone, plug that into the tripod, bloop, and then also I will go live here on Facebook. Then that will give me the recording. And then also I have a professional photographer coming to do it as well, Chris Lane from Chris Lane Video. He did my Kickstarter video. And so I have basically 3 backup plans, all of which I plan on working and being able to present to you, right? So I'm all about documenting the process. 2 of them live through 2 different mediums that I have followings on. And then the third one, which will be the super kind of high-depth video, the best mic, and I'll have all that as well. And so that is for people to consume. It's also for me to be able to rewatch. I remember when I worked in TV news for the first few years, I would watch everything that I did so that I could get better, right? The best way that you can improve is to learn from what you did before. Hey, Sonia, I see that you are here and listening. I need your address so I can send you your book. Can you DM me that address or something? Or if somehow you got your book, then I have your address. But I'm pretty sure you haven't given me your address yet. So give me that message so I can send you the book. Also, understand what the expectations that an organizer is looking for, right? What is the takeaway that you want? Is it what they want, right? And make sure that what the expectation is mutually agreed upon, because you don't want them to think that you're going to do one thing and then do another, right? Understand if you're going to be able to take questions from the crowd, how that's going to work, and all stuff like that. Because what I've learned is through many of my clients who go in knowing their presentation well, and that's it. And honestly, that material should come so naturally. It should come so... It should, in my opinion, the things that you're presenting on, the things that you're performing on, should be the things that are rolling off your tongue every day anyway, kind of like me talking about this. That the outliers, the presentation is the constant, right? The outliers are everything else. What could happen in a crowd reaction? What could happen in a positive or negative crowd reaction? What happens if the lights go out? What happens if the mic goes out? All these different things. What happens if things get rowdy? If people don't get quiet, they laugh too long, you go too long. All of these things are things that you need to be thinking about, prepared for, and you can do this by talking with the organizer. I recommend that you talk to the organizer very early on, throughout, day of, stuff like that. So I've talked to the organizer this week several times about expectations, presentations next week. I have all those things set, and we'll get those final details as well. Why do I do that? Because people are paying me good money to go up there. Their hard-earned money to see a performance. And if I get up there, I'm lackluster, I suck, then they're like, damn, I spent all this money and this guy sucked. And then ultimately what I want them to do is continue to follow me, enjoy what I'm doing, and love, etc., etc. And what happens? You don't succeed, you don't win, right? So be on your A game. And at the end of it all, if something bad happens, just roll with the punches. It's not the end of the world. Even the people who have the worst performances, like Fergie in the Star Spangled Banner, or the little girl who was singing the Star Spangled Banner that the NBA coach had to help sing with, whatever. It ain't the end of the world, right? So do your best. Be as prepared as possible. Understand what you're going to say. Expect outliers to happen, but roll with the punches. And at the end of the day, you'll be like, damn, Daniel, that went a lot better than I thought. So, this Sunday, make sure that if you live where I live and you can come to the event, come to startpeninsula.com. If not, be sure to just tune in. And we'll be going live here on my Instagram page, everything /Zack Miller Says, or just wait and stay tuned for the high-def video from Chris Lane Video a few days after that. Appreciate you guys. If you guys have any questions, hit me up in the DMs or in the comments below, and I will talk to you soon. Zack Miller out. Peace!